We have to understand. That means my consciousness of the soul will never ever experience an experience for which I have not sown a seed in the past. That means every soul that experiences anything is nothing but the fruits of his past karma. Now fruits of his past karma would mean what? Balancing out of my past karma. Equating it. I am equating, right? Now in order to get the equation done, somebody has to play the role of a villain, if you may, mother-in-law, if you may. I am not saying. Why no laughing? Because it is, it's okay. Chavi ne chavai gyu. Every time I am poor, my mother-in-law is very good, by the way. Let there be no misunderstanding. She loves me more than she loves her. Thank you. Okay, so any experience that I get, in order for me to get the experience, somebody has to play the role of giving me that experience. Anything. Supposing humiliation, I am being humiliated. So somebody has to play that role. Rightly or wrongly, that's not the point. But somebody has to play the role because I humiliated somebody, so I have to balance out my karma. Another oft repeated example which I say is, supposing the consciousness of my soul needs an experience of an accident. I have thokophied somebody and created an accident. The impression is I caused an accident on somebody else. Now it can be negated in two ways. One is I save somebody from the accident, that's balance. Or I myself meet with an accident, then it's a balance. Now assuming the so-called negative aspect that I myself meet with an accident. Now a motorbike of its own, how is the bike by the way? And your neighbor? Good. Motorbike on its own is not going to start and get into my leg. It's not going to hit me like that on its own. You see, this is not some ghost trap. So somebody has to rash drive or be drunk and drive, or I have to be negligent when I'm crossing, whatever be the cause, somebody has to play the role of giving me that experience. That means what? He indirectly becomes my friend in a sense for giving me that experience in order to help me to balance my past karmas. So simple. So that is why Baba's my wish, if you say under whatever circumstances that you find there are 6 points, think honestly and sincerely that Baba has placed me in this situation. Anyway, that apart. So here coming to what we are trying to understand is that all our suffering, physical or mental, number one, Baba says 99% of our suffering is self-created. We create our own suffering consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever it is. There the dharma or the rule applies. And I'll give an example. For example, the dharma of, say, fire is jalna jalana. Jalna jalana. Heat dena, jalna jalana. That's the dharma. If the fire does not burn and does not burn me, then it is not in dharma. Isn't it? So that is the dharma basically means law, the natural law. Now we have a small child. Mind you, Parsi child. Because Parsis worship fire. We go and put sandalwood in the fire. Now Parsi child is crawling 2 months, 3 months, abhi crawling सीखा और fire में हाथ डाला. 3 months में crawling होता है? नहीं होता, कितना 6 महीना? Up to 7 months. Sorry, I stand corrected sittingly that after 7 months that child started crawling and put the hand in the fire. Can I judge as an advocate? Can I say, God, what are you doing? Ahura must know, what are you doing, yaar? ये हम आपको इतना रोज इतना 10 रुपए का सुखन चढ़ाना है और मेरे बच्चे का हाथ जला दिया. वो तो इनोसेंट है, उनको क्या अक्ल है? Child is innocent, doesn't even know. No, law is law. Ignorance of law is no excuse. So it's like that. So in the same way, what I am coming to is that every suffering is because of the operation of the law. Whether you do it, whether I have caused the suffering consciously or unconsciously is immaterial. The moment I am suffering, Lord Buddha had said, if you are suffering, you are to be blamed. What a superb sentence. Words to the effect. Paraphrasing, That means if you are going through any trouble, you are to be blamed. Nobody else is to be blamed. Growth begins where blame ends. The moment you stop blaming others for whatever you are going through, you take the reins of happiness in your own hand. And as long as you think that no, unless and until that person's behavior changes, then only I will. Adi kaka, adi ke irani baba say, better luck next life. You have to keep on suffering because that person, you have no control about the behavior of somebody else's behavior. You see, it's like that. I mean, I have no control about my wife's behavior, forget about somebody third party, and she has no control about my behavior. So it's like that. And the door of change can only be opened from within. I cannot open the door. She is sleeping and okay, I'm just giving an example. No? Don't misunderstand, please. So she is like this and I don't like her, so she is sleeping, so I chavi ghumaya bahar se to yes, tomorrow morning when she wakes up, oh my darling, you're so great. No, that will not happen because the door of change, she does that even otherwise, the door of change has to be opened from within. So unless and until from within somebody opens the door, I feel no, I must change. The moment I am going through certain repetitive action, cyclical, ek ka ek hota hai, that means I have not learned the lesson of that experience. Then I have to self-reflect, go within, introspect and try to find out why is it that I am getting similar experiences. That means I am getting fever. Doctor nahi hai, so I can take this liberty. Ashu is not there. I am getting fever. Fever is not a disease. Fever is just the body's way of saying that something is going wrong, so it increases the temperature so that all the germs are buried. What will doctor do? Krosin mar or thagak karke, yeah, whatever that is. What do we do? There is a fire, and we are putting a carpet over it. What happens? It just covers up for some time. After 15 days, again fever. After 15 days, again fever. Cyclical. That means the whole purpose of the experience is lost. We are not going deeply into why things are happening the way they are happening to me. How is it that I am creating this situation in my life that every time it comes up to a certain level and something happens, it comes up to a certain level. So then we need to self-reflect, introspect, go within and then try to find out as to what is going wrong, where and why. And most of it we may be doing it unconsciously because most of our actions are reactive actions, most of our actions are repetitive actions. Without understanding why we are doing it, we do it. And because they are repetitive in their very nature, we confront the same situation over and over again. And so we keep on answering the third standard paper again and again without graduating to standard 4. Is it over? No. I'm Achika.
However, this must not be misconstrued that one must invite and embrace suffering, but when suffering falls to our lot, we must learn to accept it as an attendant condition to our unfoldment, and this means that we see in it the opportunity Baba has given us to live in Him.
This is a very beautiful sentence. This is not Baba's word, we have picked it up from Meherages' letter. It doesn't mean that we should invite, entertain suffering. It doesn't mean the fatalistic attitude of, oh, I am having fever or I am having this problem and Baba says whatever situation you are in, think Baba has put, so I will not go to the doctor or I will not take. No, it doesn't mean anything. It simply means that instead of wasting your time and energy on why me, poor me, invest your energy in what now? What is the solution? It only means that. Because acceptance is the first thing. Because there's a very beautiful saying which says, imagine the insanity of not accepting what is. Because what is, just is. It is. Irrespective of whether you accept it or not, what is just is. So by accepting what is, you do not fight. By accepting what is, you do not fight with why me, poor me, what have I done wrong, I have not done anything wrong. In fact, if you have really not done anything wrong in your life and still you are getting it, you are very blessed for the simple reason that it is equating, balancing out your past karma. Because knowingly you have not done anything wrong and somebody is hitting you back, that means something of the past is being eradicated. And it may sound dangerous. Having come to Meher Baba, we have all given, he has got a universal remote control which works on everybody and everything. Having come to Meher Baba, his focus has always been how to expedite balancing. And one of the means of expediting balancing is to put the thumb on the FF button. FF, you know, fast forward. Fast forward. That means whatever we have to undergo, let us say, example, in 5 lifetimes, he will say, bhagao, bhagao. 2 lifetimes, 3, 8 lifetimes, he fast forward. And that is why many people experience that, "Arey, mera jindagi itna acha tha, ye Baba ke chakkar mein aake, it has become so fast forward now, it's all turmoil. What is happening? I just don't understand." And why it is happening? Why it is happening? For a simple reason that his button is, his hand is there on FF button. And it is for our own good. What happened? So it's like many people have experienced that, and it is for our own good. So that is why Baba says here, you know, consider mental and physical suffering as gifts from God, which if accepted gracefully, lead to everlasting happiness. Because after all, everything is an illusion. Okay. However, have you read this?
Yes.
However, this must not be misconstrued as one should invite suffering or embrace suffering or even entertain suffering. But when suffering falls to our lot, when suffering falls to our lot, it means that somewhere down the line I have sown the seed. This life, last life, 10 lives आगे का, 100 life we do not know. उसका अभी फल रूप आ गया है. The fruits have come. We must learn to accept it as an attendant condition to our unfoldment. It is a condition of our spiritual unfoldment. It is a condition where my past is being balanced out. And that is why we oft repeated, we have said that instead of being effect conscious, every time we are effect conscious. Effect conscious means what is happening in our environment, the stimuli, the happening, the occurrence, the event. Instead of being effect conscious, start becoming cause conscious. So that we do not sow the seed of those causes which may give us the effect in the future, which we will not know why this is happening. Right? So here Baba says, use it and accept it as an attendant condition to our unfoldment. And this means that we see in it the opportunity Baba has given us to live in Him. Rather, what it means is to rely and depend and focus more and more on Baba because of this condition. To depend more and more on Him. To respond and not react. To respond in a manner which would please Baba. To conduct ourselves in a manner, because see, first thing is, if we understand that it cannot come to my lot if it is not mine. If it doesn't belong to me, it cannot come to me. And the very fact that it has come means it is mine. So if it is mine, I should accept it, and now I should learn how to deal with it. So the last line talks about how do you deal with it? By living in Baba, remembering Him, making Him our constant companion, depending on Him, throwing it on Him, you know, like really pushing it on Him. In one of the earlier messages, 1920s ka, you know, when the Mandli, young, robust Mandli, you know, and obviously you get all kinds of thoughts. Ugly thoughts, dirty thoughts, lusty thoughts, etc. And Baba obviously would read the thoughts and immediately would snap and say, "What are you thinking? What are you thinking?" like that. And then Baba would say, you know, like how you will hakelofy, you know, shoo away a rabid dog, you know, how you should, you know, like that. These thoughts have to be shooed away and say, you should tell, go to Baba. You should shoo it to Baba, go to Baba. And Baba said, I am the ocean, I will accept everything and nothing will pollute me. So whenever such, so in same way, you know, you can easily push it to Baba. Here comes the doctor, after the crocin is given. Okay.